Mike and Tom are registered with Stewart Partners Global Advisory LLC.
Common Sense Finance with Mike Wiginton and Tom Farrell of HL Wiginton Capital Management, an independent investment and financial planning firm in downtown Jasper. Mike is a chartered financial analyst charter holder, and Tom is a certified financial planner professional. They are here to discuss and give their thoughts on current financial and economic matters. Now, with Common Sense Finance, here are Mike and Tom.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Common Sense Finance. This is Tom Farrell. I'm Mike Wiginton. If we're going to put a title on today's episode, I would call it Speaking from Beyond the Grave. And the topic at hand is that for folks that are trying to plan how they're going to distribute their assets after their death, and folks that they may have some concerns or troubles with who they're going to leave monies to and if they're ready for it and so forth. And boy, that is a very tricky topic. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, and we run across this a lot where somebody is engaged with us in estate planning, and they have some assets they want to leave to kids, grandkids, whatever. They have one or two that they have issues that are concerned about what might happen to that money that they've worked so hard to earn and grow over the years. And one child may be good with money, the other maybe not. So there are a couple of things that we just wanted to discuss briefly today about ways to, as Mike said, control the money from the grave. The first is what's called a spendthrift trust, where you set the trust up, the money goes into the trust after you pass away, and your beneficiary, whichever one you set this up for, there are constraints on how much money they take out, when they take it out, so they're not able to get their hands on a large sum of money at one time and maybe do some crazy things that you were concerned about them doing. That is a more expensive way to do that. There are some costs in setting the trust up on the front end, and there's ongoing administration costs to make sure the money's doled out properly according to the trust. So keep in mind that's a more expensive option than some other ways to do that.
And the issue, to your point there, about how to choose a trustee, to administer the trust, and the cost associated with the trustee, that's a whole other conversation. And you see folks from whether it's institutional trustees, lawyers, family members, whatever, and that's that could be named as trustees, and that requires a lot of thought.
Yeah, it does. And another less expensive option would be a single premium immediate annuity, where you fund that annuity when you pass away, and then the money is doled out over that person's lifetime, 30, 40 years, however long, and basically equal distributions on a monthly or annual basis. So the money, they're not able to get the lump sum right up front. The downside to that is that there's no control over the money, which is good. It is what you wanted to accomplish. But if there are things that come up, legitimate emergency type situations, they're not going to be able to get larger amounts of cash out of the annuity. And also, if they die prematurely, then that money, the majority of it's probably going to be lost unless they have some kind of a cash refund type deal on the annuity, which would in return reduce the payout. So there's some definitely some things you have to look at to make sure when you're dealing with those, and you need to talk to a qualified, experienced person in estate planning to help you figure out what the best route is for you to take.
Yeah, those are good points, both in cost and the items that you don't really maybe not think of
Right.
on your own, and setting those up. It's amazing how many times people say, well, that seems like a good idea, and they don't go through thorough fact finding or
Right.
conversation to talk about the downside. So that's
Exactly.
good. So if there's nothing else there, we'll leave it there, and we'll see you next time.
Woo!